Y'all brace yourselves because what I'm about to tell you makes every messy love and hip-hop reunion look like Sesame Street. Forget fairy tales, forget ride or die, because Yandy and Mendeecees, baby, they are teetering on the edge of a breakup so messy it could make Jada and Will look like couple goals. Yeah, I said it. Now, let me ask you this. How does a simple sit-down over a water bottle turn into a full-blown courtroom drama? How does Pass the Aquafina become I'm done fighting for this marriage? Is this relationship even real at this point, or are we just watching the world's longest episode of Jerry Springer in HD? Social media streets are already on fire. Fans tweeting Mendeecees he's been checked out since season 3. Others claiming Yandy is fighting for a man who's already mentally in Puerto Rico sipping mojitos with Scrappy Few. The shade writes itself. Do so. Buckle up. Grab your popcorn, and maybe even grab your partner to make sure your relationship ain't headed down the same road, because today we're diving headfirst into the chaos, the drama, and the heartbreak of Yandy and Mendeecees on the edge of a breakup. Let's start from the beginning because baby, this mess did not happen overnight. Yandy and Mendeecees have been selling us the love story of the century built on loyalty, ride or die, all that Instagram filter fairy tale. But behind the glossy captions and carefully edited VH1 clips, there's been a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. And now, boom, we're watching it explode in real time. See, the thing about this couple is they've always carried the image of resilience. Jail time, public scrutiny, rumors, nothing could allegedly shake their bond. At least that's what they wanted us to think. But if you've been paying attention, and I know y'all have, you'd see the cracks forming long ago. Tiny little arguments that should have been settled with a hug turned into full-scale battles of egos. And guess what? This isn't the first time a water bottle has caused drama. Allegedly, Yandy once snapped over Mendeecees grabbing the wrong brand of sparkling water. Fiji versus Perrier. Honey, who knew hydration could be the downfall of a marriage? But let's not act brand new here. This isn't about the water. This is about everything else that's been swept under the rug for years finally spilling out. Remember that infamous ring-off stunt? Yandy proudly announcing that she was taking a stand by removing her ring until Mendeecees stepped up as a husband. That was the first domino. Because let's be real, when the ring comes off, it's no longer just a marriage, it's a PR strategy. And when love becomes a PR strategy, trust me, nothing good follows. And don't even get me started on the rumors that have been circulating like wildfire in the love and hip-hop fanbase. Anonymous sources. Oh yes, we got anonymous sources claim Mendeecees has been mentally checked out for months, showing up at industry parties without Yandy, allegedly whispering about needing space while still cashing in on the couple's brand deals. Oh, and let's not forget that time he conveniently forgot to mention a business deal until Yandy found out through the grapevine. She's out here fighting battles with friends and family, defending him while he's sipping cocktails and making side hustles. Tell me that's not the stuff divorces are made of. Social media receipts don't lie either. Fans are pointing out the passive-aggressive shade in Yandy's captions, the mysteriously Vegas self-love posts, and of course, the absence of couple selfies that used to flood her grid. One user tweeted, "When a love and hip-hop star starts posting quotes about protecting her peace, you already know the relationship is hanging by a thread." And honestly, they might be right. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Word on the street is that Yandy has been finding out shocking details about Mendeecees from other people before hearing it from him. Imagine walking into a room and learning about your own husband from strangers. Baby, that's not just disrespect, that's betrayal. And if you think Yandy, the queen of clapbacks, was going to let that slide, you must be new here. She confronted him, and instead of apologizing or showing vulnerability, he went straight into defensive mode. Classic. Instead of "I'm sorry, I don't got time for the bull." Really? That's the energy you bring to save your marriage. And here's the kicker. Every time Yandy tries to express that she's the one fighting for this relationship, Mendeecees throws it back by saying he's been fighting since day one. Oh, so now we're keeping score. What is this? A marriage or a boxing match? Because from the outside, it looks less like us against the world, and more like Mayweather versus Pacquiao, domestic edition. Let's also address the elephant in the room, Puerto Rico. While their marriage is dangling on the edge of a cliff, Mendeecees is planning to jet off to Puerto Rico with Scrappy, allegedly to clear his mind. Translation: he's choosing mojitos and jet skis over cruise therapy. And don't even try to tell me that doesn't scream priorities. Yandy is practically begging for him to show up emotionally, and his response is basically, "Catch me on the beach. I'll text you later." But here's the dangerous part. When the foundation of trust is already cracked, these little choices pile up into something much bigger. It's not about the water. It's not about Puerto Rico. It's about the fact that both of them are no longer on the same team. And when love turns into a competition of who's doing more, who's fighting harder, who's sacrificing the most, that's not a marriage. That's a business deal gone sour. And trust me, the fans are eating this up. Reddit threads are blowing up with speculation. TikTok analysts are breaking down every side eye, every tone shift, every half smile in their latest interactions. People are literally screen recording episodes and circling water bottles like it's the Zapruder film. The internet is convinced this is not just a rough patch, it's the end game. The craziest part, some insiders claim this fight wasn't even supposed to happen on camera. Allegedly, production wanted a peaceful sit-down, a redemption arc for the couple. But instead of healing, what we got was pure chaos. And the cameras, oh, they were rolling the whole time, capturing every eye roll, every raised voice, every passive-aggressive jab. And you know what they say when the cameras catch it, the world never forgets. So, let's ask the real question. If this was their attempt at reconciliation, what does a real fight look like behind closed doors? Because if a water bottle argument can send them spiraling into, do we even belong together? Then imagine what the big stuff looks like: financial stress, trust issues, rumors of infidelity. And don't you worry, we're going to break all of that down. And here's where things start to feel less like a love story and more like a full-blown Netflix doc, the kind with ominous music and slow zoom-ins on people shaking their heads. Because once you peel back the layers of this so-called marriage, the leaks, both emotional and financial, start spilling out faster than Mendeecees can pack a suitcase for Puerto Rico. Let's start with the obvious. The shady business moves. Allegedly. And I say allegedly because, you know, lawyers exist. Mendeecees has been tied up in some creative accounting. Anonymous insiders whispered to me that he's been moving money around in ways that would make even the Fire Festival guy blush. We're talking lavish dinners at 5-star restaurants, while Yandy's stressing over who's watching the kids. And the kicker, he's not footing the bill out of his own pocket. No. According to these sources, the couple's joint accounts are looking more drained than Yandy's patience on reunion night. Now, before you clutch your pearls, let's not forget this man's history. We're not talking about someone with a squeaky clean record here. The ghosts of past legal troubles still haunt every step he takes, and while Yandy might have once been praised for holding it down while he was locked up, the shine of that loyalty badge has officially worn off. Because how long can you keep playing Bonnie to a man who's stuck on repeat as Clyde? And then there's the issue of transparency, or should I say the total lack of it. Yandy complained about finding out details about her own husband from outsiders. Oh, that wasn't just one incident. Word is this has become a pattern. Imagine this. Yandy walks into a room and a so-called business associate casually mentions a project Mendeecees is need in, except Yandy never even heard about it. Or worse, she hears whispers about certain friendships that seem a little too cozy for a married man. Picture the look on her face. Priceless. Now, let's talk about public reaction, because the internet is basically the jury, judge and executioner at this point. The fans are divided right down the middle. On one side, you've got Team Yandy people saying, "Sis has been carrying this man on her back for years. Time to let him sink or swim." On the other side, there's Team Mendeecees who argue, "She knew what she signed up for." Mendeecees who argue, "She knew what she signed up for. Stop playing victim." And then, of course, there's the chaotic neutral crowd, who just want the tea and couldn't care less about the fallout. Social media receipts are piling up. Screenshots of cryptic tweets. Instagram lives where Yandy looks one blink away from breaking down. And of course, that infamous clip where Mendeecees casually admits he doesn't know if he would have held Yandy down if the roles were reversed. Yeah, remember that bombshell? Fans are still dragging him for that. And honestly, can you blame them? If loyalty isn't mutual, then what is it? A sponsorship deal. Speaking of sponsorships, let's not forget the brand deals. Rumor has it, several companies are getting nervous about attaching themselves to the Yandy Mendeecees brand. Think about it, who wants to invest in couple goals merch when the couple in question can't even agree on who's fighting harder for the marriage? Sources claim one skincare brand even paused their collaboration after seeing the latest love and hip-hop drama unfold, because nothing screams by this moisturizer like two people screaming over a bottle of Poland Spring. And let's sprinkle in some leaked DMs for good measure. Allegedly, a certain influencer slid into Yandy's DMs, claiming she saw Mendeecees getting a little too comfortable at a private event in Atlanta. No photos, of course, because the internet loves to torment us with half-baked tea. But enough to keep the rumor mill spinning at high speed. Yandy being Yandy didn't address it directly, but the timing of her sometimes silence is the loudest clapback post. Oh, it spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Mendeecees continues to play the victim card. In his mind, Yandy's constant need to talk about feelings is just nitpicking. He thinks every conversation is an ambush. Every concern is an attack. He told friends allegedly that he feels like he's fighting for his life every day. Sir, no one is asking you to fight for your life. She's asking you to fight for your marriage. There's a difference, but hey, what do I know? And if you think the audience isn't noticing, think again. Fans are roasting him left and right. One viral comment read, Mendeecees fights for his life, ordering wings at Buffalo Wild Wings more than he fights for Yandy. Another chimed in with, if Puerto Rico is his idea of therapy, then I guess my ex was practicing psychiatry at Canon all along. The internet doesn't forgive, and it sure as hell doesn't forget. Now, let's not pretend Yandy is innocent in all this. She's been accused of turning every little argument into a full-blown war. Remember, this is the same woman who weaponized her ring, turned it into a prop to send a message. And while some fans see that as empowerment, others argue it's manipulative. They say she thrives off the drama, that she's addicted to the narrative of being the long-suffering wife fighting for a man who doesn't deserve her. Ouch. But here's the twist. Maybe both of them are right. Maybe both of them are wrong. Maybe this entire relationship has become less about love and more about optics, brand deals, and airtime. Because when every fight is televised, when every tear becomes a meme, when every eye roll is gift within seconds, how do you separate real life from reality TV? At what point does the performance become the reality? And let's not forget the kids. Yandy keeps saying they need to raise their children in a loving, happy home, but what the kids are actually seeing is constant arguing, passive-aggressive shade, and two parents who can't agree on whether they're on the same team. That's not love, that's dysfunction, dressed up in designer clothes and VH1 camera lighting. The scariest part, this isn't even the climax. We're still building, because if sources are correct, and trust me, these sources are sipping lattes and spilling tea, then the fallout from this latest fight could trigger way bigger consequences than anyone expects. We're talking financial audits, brand losses, and maybe even a separation that's more permanent than any ring stunt. So, buckle up, because if you thought the water bottle drama was petty, wait until you hear about the leaked reports, the money trail, and the whispers of government eyes on their finances. Oh yeah, baby, we're just getting started. And just when you thought this whole circus couldn't get any messier, welcome to the fallout, where the popcorn is fresh, the tea is boiling, and the receipts are falling from the sky like confetti at a toxic wedding. Because if you believe this water bottle fight was just about attitudes and energy, oh honey, you've been sleeping. What we're witnessing now is the unraveling of a brand, a marriage, and possibly even a whole empire built on the illusion of black love goals. Let's start with the whispers of a government investigation. Yep, you heard me. According to several highly questionable yet highly entertaining anonymous insiders, certain financial inconsistencies in Mendeecees' businesses have allegedly caught the attention of folks who don't play games. Think IRS auditors and federal regulators. Imagine them sitting in a conference room watching clips of Yandy crying about being the only one fighting for the marriage, and then cutting to spreadsheets showing funds moving faster than Mendeecees packing his Puerto Rico shorts. Iconic. But wait, there's more. Remember those brand deals I mentioned earlier? Sources claim at least 2 companies are reconsidering partnerships with the couple. One insider spilled, nobody wants to plaster their skincare ad under a headline about IRS probes and marriage. MELTDOWNS. Makes sense, right? Because nothing screams hydrated skin like watching 2 people drag each other on national television over emotional negligence. And don't think the streets are silent on this. The fan base has basically turned into unpaid private investigators. TikTokers are connecting dots. Redditors are building entire timelines with color-coded receipts. And Twitter. Oh, Twitter is having the time of its life. One viral tweet read, "First the IRS, now the divorce papers. Yandy and Mendeecees is really out here giving us the Walmart version of Bonnie and Clyde." Another added, "At this point, even Mona Scott Young can't script this mess." Meanwhile, the couple themselves, they're caught in a PR nightmare. Yandy's out here posting inspirational quotes about strength and self-worth, while Mendeecees is casually dropping gym selfies like nothing's happening. It's giving Rome is burning, but at least I got abs. Fans aren't buying it. They see the silence as guilt, the quotes as cries for help, and the selfies as distraction tactics. Now, let's talk consequences. If this spiral continues, and baby, all signs say it will, then we're not just talking about a breakup, we're talking about full-blown reputational collapse. The love and hip-hop checks only stretch so far. And once the audience officially clocks out, the couple's leverage in reality TV land plummets faster than Mendeecees' patience when Yandy grabs his water. Without that relevance, without that couple, or what's left, a fractured family, a pile of debt, and a legacy tarnished by petty arguments and defensive outbursts. And don't underestimate the legal side of things. Should this alleged government probe gain traction, we're looking at subpoenas, frozen accounts, maybe even another headline-making court case. Yandy, who's been building her image as a businesswoman and activist, risks being dragged into the mud simply by association. Her reputation, her causes, her ventures, they're all on the line. And if there's one thing Yandy hates more than being unheard, it's being sidelined in her own narrative. But let's not forget the human angle. At the end of the day, beyond the memes, beyond the Twitter drags, beyond the YouTube speculation, you've got kids watching all of this unfold. Kids who see the tension, who feel the cold shoulders, who know that mommy and daddy aren't on the same page. And if you ask me, that's the biggest tragedy of them all. Forget the sponsorships, forget the vacations, forget the shade. When the little ones start internalizing dysfunction as normal, that's when the damage becomes generational. Of course, the fans are split on whether there's even hope left. Some cling to the idea of reconciliation, convinced that if they just communicate better, everything will fall back into place. Others insist it's over, that this is the final season of Yandy and Mendeecees as a couple. And then you've got the conspiracy theorists, the ones whispering that this is all just a manufactured storyline to boost ratings, that behind closed doors, they're actually fine and laughing at how gullible we all are. Honestly, at this point, nothing would surprise me. But let's ask the real questions. Is this the breaking point? Has the image of their love story been so shredded that there's no going back? Or will they somehow miraculously spin this meltdown into a comeback arc worthy of a reality TV Hall of Fame? Because, let's be clear, this isn't just about love, this is about business. And in reality TV, the line between the two is thinner than Yandy's patience in that sit-down scene. Whatever happens next, one thing's certain, the fairy tale is dead. This isn't black love goals. This isn't ride or die. This is duck and cover. A marriage crumbling under the weight of pride, defensiveness, and cameras rolling 24/7s. Whether they call it quits or drag it out for another season, the only question left, will Yandy finally walk away for good? Or will Mendeecees pull off the Hail Mary of reality TV and convince her to stay? Either way, the streets are watching, the brands are sweating, and the government might just be dialing up their accountants as we speak. Grab your popcorn because this ride isn't slowing down anytime soon. So, what do y'all think? Is this the final chapter of Yandy and Mendeecees' so-called black love goals? Or are they about to spin this mess into the biggest comeback in reality TV history? Are we watching a marriage implode in real time? Or just another scripted stunt for clout and checks? Drop your theories in the comments because the streets are already louder than their arguments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more messy deep dives, and don't forget to turn on notifications because the drama is only getting started.